Hi YouTube, this is RobloNuts1 here, and today I am doing a comic book review for you all. I have for you today, first, Marvel Now, The Avengers. So far, I've only read 2 issues, including this one. So far, I'm really enjoying the themes of this arc. Because the arc is talking about creation stories, and that seems to be a theme. Because the Avengers are expanding. You know, we have Hawkeye, Black Widow, Iron Man, Captain America, Hulk, and Iron Man. And basically, Captain America and Iron Man are seeking to expand. So they're, in a sense, creating their own creation story. You know, they're sort of building upon a tiny little creation that was made and expanding that creation across the entire Earth. And this sort of parallels the creation story that Ex Nihilo, the villain of this story, who is sort of building a new race on Mars. And it's very interesting to see the different parallels, because Earth would technically be a fully established world compared to that of Mars, who are just starting out. And I kind of like that theme, that we have sort of these different creation stories. I also found it interesting that Abyss, the robot in the story, is sort of rejecting this creation story. Like, he sees, like, one of the characters in the Avengers has godlike abilities, and he completely rejects this god. He's like, no, I don't believe in this. And it's very interesting, because he is the sort of person who would believe, but he chooses not to believe, and that's very interesting. Because he's programmed to serve this god. So, in a sense, are we as human beings programmed to believe in something bigger than ourselves? And what happens to us if we are atheists and don't believe? So I found this quite interesting. The next book I have is Smallville issue 13. I am absolutely loving Brian Q. Miller's story. Like, he does such a good job at paralleling the different characters with Superman. Because here we get the reintroduction to the Legion and Booster Gold and Kara Kent. Less of Kara in this comic, but she does appear. And I just find it so interesting, the different parallels between Clark and Booster Gold. Because Clark as Superman is a well-established hero, even in the 31st century. Whereas Booster Gold isn't really a well-established hero. He doesn't even have anyone who sort of looks up to him in that way. And I found that absolutely fascinating. Also, we have new Krypton appear in this comic. And we see flashbacks of Season 9 where Clark used the Book of Ra to send all Kryptonians to Argo, or New Krypton. And Brian Q. Miller does such a good job at linking in past seasons to his comics. Like, he does continuity better than I think the series itself does. And I just so enjoy the fact that Brian knows what... Brian obviously knows the seasons well enough to use the flashbacks and kind of build upon what Smallville left behind. And also answer some of the questions that I think were sort of left out in the season that couldn't get wrapped up. So we have Clark and Booster Gold sort of in between teaming up with the Legion, who are sort of in between a war that's brewing between New Krypton and EarthGov and the United Planets. And basically, Clark is just sort of trying to get what's going on and why and why New Krypton is attacking his planet again. So yeah, great comic, pick it up. Finally we have Batman issue 19. Bruce Wayne's greatest foe is Jim Gordon. It's not really, but yeah. Oh, spoilers by the way. Batman is still continuing to deal with Damian Wayne's death. And we see a flashback of him on a mission with Damian when he was still alive. And it's a great touching little scene that shows that Batman sort of does care about previous sidekicks. You know, and each of their deaths and each of their lives are very important to him. Like, he may come off as a very uncaring sort of person, but deep down, and I think Death in the Family proved this more than anything, I think deep down, Bruce still cares a lot about the people he works with, his family, and people that he loves. And that is what I love about certainly Snyder's Batman. It's just how human Bruce can get. That although the Batsuit is his armor, but even through the armor, you can still see the humanity in Batman. And I love that. So Batman is investigating Brian Wade, a man who works for his company. And he supposedly has committed suicide, but Batman believes that there is something bigger going on because he knows Brian Wade well enough to know that he wouldn't kill him. That he knows Brian Wade well enough that he wouldn't kill himself. And it turns out that Clayface is posing as Brian Wade and is beginning to mutate his body. And Batman gives a great explanation to Clayface's mutation, that after a while, people who change so much like Clayface does ends up losing pieces of themselves. And I found that very interesting. So in Batman issue 20, we see Bruce fighting Clayface in his armory and using several Batman Inc. robots to fight him off. And Bruce gets trapped in with Lucius Fox, and sort of we get a very, very cool reference to Batman Beyond, where Bruce Jones on the costume, and Lucius is like, oh, that armor is unavailable for like 20 years. It's great. I'm now out of time, so yeah, I hope you enjoy this video, and I shall see you all later. Bye!